big yes or no, so that we'll know how much we know our MD, because he is learning more about us. He is understanding what we want. So better understanding of MD, what he likes, so that if he cycles on the path, we can also go in opposite, we can get opportunity, higher positions by engaging with them. So please respond. How many of you knew he sings karaoke? Brighter yes, no. If no means no. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So he cycles, he travels, he climbs mountain once, skydives recently. He played a cricket. He really loves cricket. He is just a huge fan of cricket, where you can see in the picture, and he sings again, and he cooks very well. But today we are not talking about hobbies. We are talking about what these hobbies of him teaches us. So, cycling teaches consistency, cricket teaches teamwork, climbing mountain teaches courage, cooking teaches perfect balance in the recipe and moods of the family, singing teaches confidence. To help these future leaders, because I believe we are the future leaders in MPPL, sitting in this room, so I will ask few questions representing them. So, sir, shall we? Girls, shall we?
Yes.
Right, please, so that our faces will be visible. Light, light. They are taking video, my face should be visible. Sir, first question, sir. Every success begins with a belief. When you started MPPL, what belief kept you going, and what would you like women professionals today to believe about themselves? A woman here feels she has an entrepreneurial spark, and what are the 3 questions she should ask herself to know she's ready?
Firstly, I know when I get a bit, it's weird to say women and men. That is something I've never believed. I was just telling Priya, I think that the old people who work with me directly, Charitas and Lakshmis and Rupas and others, they would have known, because Hepzibah, when she was explaining that plant one we did this, I always believed at work. Okay, so there is no difference between whatever men can do, I always believed women can do. Okay, so I never thought, and my belief stays same even today. So it is the same when you come to entrepreneurship also. Obviously, if I can set up a plant and grow, any one of you here and then hundreds of people working in the plant, you can also set up a plant and grow it. I'm not talking about just a plant, whatever you want to do, correct? So coming back to me, probably I always had this, I think yesterday during lunch, we had a lunch together with office girls. I was just explaining same thing, that maybe from higher secondary school I wanted to be an entrepreneur. It was not anything decided, so I always thought that, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. But then what you believe and then what you want to do, there's a lot of things, life changes a lot of things. See, this also, life changes a lot of things. What you wanted to do and what will happen, we'll just wait for seconds. Otherwise, probably had I continued in Continental, I would have been in Germany, not in India, just to tell you, because I was almost in the process of going to Germany for a 2-year exchange program and then decide whether I want to be in Germany or back to Bangalore. But then it was always in my mind that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So, but it took more than 15 years to decide that. It's not easy, because when you are working for someone, at least 28th of the month you get your check. But when you become an entrepreneur, 28th of the month you need to ensure the check to everybody. So that's a huge responsibility, always. And you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. Correct? There's no, certainty. You can be successful, you can be a flop, anything can happen. And whenever you want to decide something, it is nothing different for men or women. The whole world will say, no, don't do it. Let me tell you, nobody is going to tell you, you have taken a great decision, go ahead, you will be successful. Everybody will tell, no, don't do it, nothing will be successful, you will fail, it will happen this, that will happen. So everybody. It is the same for women also, it is same for men also. So nothing changes. And that too, if you are a married guy and you have a daughter of 5-year-old, that becomes that much more difficult to take the decision, because half of the world will say, not half, 99% of the world will say, don't take such crazy decisions. No, you're doing well in corporate, we have a good life, so all those things. But I must acknowledge the woman power in this. It was my wife who stood by me. Okay, so she believed that I could do it. I have to admit that if had she told, no, because we all had a good lifestyle, let me be very honest. And if had she told that no, don't plunge into entrepreneurship, obviously I can't go against her, right? So, but she was the only one who believed against odds of the odds, that no, you can pull it off. So that push and that confidence is always important, to have somebody to push you. And I can say it was my better half who really believed in my ability and said, no, please go. But then it's a big story, nothing goes as you planned, like the power went off, but it also the power comes back. That means it's always a full cycle. So for the aspiring entrepreneurs who are all sitting here and sitting everywhere else, don't think it's only men can do. No, nothing like that. It's the same challenges for both. But what is important here is for every one of you, whether there's nothing like you have to become an entrepreneur, you can also go in the corporate ladder as well. Like many of you have grown from nothing to what we are today. First thing first, please believe in yourself. Okay, that belief is important. If you anytime think that no, I can't do. I was just telling Priya that those days when Lakshmis and Charitas and everybody used to work with me, it's tough to work with me. And Akshaya must be going through the same thing here. Because I don't differentiate between men and women. For me, everything is same. So even my sister-in-law used to work with me. Okay, and she has undergone a lot of stress working with me. Let me tell you that. Because in IT, she was heading IT. And I am somebody who is very demanding. Whether it is with all my managers also, all the CXOs also, it is same. So I don't differentiate. Because I always believe that it's the same. You have taken a responsibility. A guy, if you can do something, the girl also should do the same thing, and goes with the responsibility what you have taken. And it is the belief what you should have, that I am not anything lesser compared to any guy. Suppose say you replace yourself with a guy, you also think what is that he can do better than you. Correct? If you think that he can do better than you, then that belief is gone. So you have to believe that I can do better than him or equal to him. And that is where the whole thing is. Even if you want to become an entrepreneur, it is same. So first is believe in your abilities, because nobody is going to support you or tap you or encourage you. It's up to you to believe in your ability. And that holds good even if you want to become an entrepreneur. The second most important thing in entrepreneurship is patience. Nothing will happen overnight. You need to have that resilience. You need to have that patience. You need to believe in yourself. Only then, it will fall in place. I was just telling the girls whom I went with lunch yesterday that when people ask me, how did you become entrepreneur? I say I was very lucky. But just to share to everybody, I have written in many places my patented explanation of luck, which you don't get in Google also. Okay, so I believe that if you want to be lucky, you need to have first L. L stands for you are in the right location. L-U-C-K. U stands for you should have the right understanding of what you want to do, the right business or whatever you want to do. You want to have the right understanding of that. L-U-C, you need to have the right connections. So develop connections. Because I was saying many girls are a bit shy, how to open up, how to talk, how to think. No, in a professional atmosphere, you have to share your experiences, learn from the experiences, make those right connections. Only without connections, without networking, it is always difficult. Whether it's in your professional life, in your entrepreneur life, there are many girls might be doing a great job, obviously, but then you are not opened up to tell the world what you are capable of. Correct? Like I was just admiring Akshaya's dance moves today. Did anyone know that? See, if she had not shown that, that's a talent, right? Not everybody can make the moves like what she does. So everyone has that special talent. There are a lot of people here. I used to see Priya's yoga videos. I think the way she used to bend it like Beckham. I keep telling her, why are you not bending anymore? So that's a real talent. And in paintings and yoga, there must be a lot of other girls here. Charita coming from medical transcription to manufacturing is not easy. And a shy girl like Rupa coming from after marriage, even though she did not like her arranged marriage, but still now she has accommodated everywhere to come. So you need those right connections to open up and then grow. So SE is very important. Then comes the last word K, knowledge. You need to have the right knowledge, you need to develop the right knowledge. And if all these four letters, location, understanding, connection and knowledge, L-U-C-K, falls on you, it is why you are bound to be lucky. So that is what you need to believe to become an entrepreneur, to be successful and to balance what you guys are doing. Many times you girls might think, we have a lot of responsibilities. I completely respect that as a mother, as a daughter-in-law, as sister. Roles of various roles you girls play, and I admire and appreciate all of you for balancing those things. Fantastic. Okay, but don't think men's life is anything easier. Okay, so it's equally important to understand also men also go through. You ask Ravi and Satish, they'll tell you Vikram that they have an idiot boss like me. Okay, and that's the most stressed out thing for anybody to have a boss like me who will demand day in and day out. Okay, so they also go through a lot of pressures. They have to provide for their families. They have to secure their future of their children. So, and in the society also, men also go through a lot of pressures to prove themselves on a day in and day out basis. Correct? Right from their looks to their jobs to their earnings, to everybody looks up to them to provide. So they have their own pressures. You guys have own pressures. Okay? I always feel that it has to be 50-50. If you guys think that I am big or you are small, that egos and all those things comes even in your married life, in your professional lives, these things are very important to understand that it's always 50-50. Correct? Only then it becomes 100. Otherwise, it's always, those egos comes in place, we don't understand each other's roles and responsibilities here. I am somebody who always looks at, even with HR, I'll be discussing the roles and responsibilities. But I clearly believe that there has to be a proper earmarking of roles and responsibilities and equal deliverables for men and women. Right? So those deliverables are very important here. So that's the way to look at things. So please, as being Women's Day today, my message for all of you is never look at yourself as something what you cannot do compared to men. There is nothing you girls cannot do compared to men. Okay? All you require is the self-belief, the patience, the resilience, and then things will fall in place whether you are in a corporate life or in entrepreneur's life. Hope it's a long answer, but I just wanted to make this point.
Thank you, sir. Sir, second question. So this question is based on the article you have shared recently in the mail. Yes. In high volume manufacturing, what separates a driver from a passenger in one clear behavior? In high volume manufacturing unit, what separates a driver from a passenger in one clear behavior?
What separates a driver from the
passenger?
It's to go out of your way. Correct? That's what is the driver. Okay, so what is important here is all of you have roles, obviously. Correct? There's always called, if you take a train, there's always an engine, and then there's always, that is what is driver, and there's always the bogies, which follows the driver. Today, what is not missing in the organization everywhere is that there are no leaders, there are no drivers. The drivers are the one who clears the path for you, and everyone follows. Everyone wants to be followers. Sometimes, we all, whether we see politicians, whether we see the Swamijis who have all become very, we think, we may have all complaints on them, but it's not easy for you and me to become that leader. So you have to give them, credit for what they are. So similarly, driver is the one who goes out of the way. Like those days, some of the girls also shared that even though they are responsible for quality, even though they are responsible for production, they are responsible for HR, they are responsible for something else, they all came together to do a lot of things. Correct? People who did not know manufacturing, people who did not know BD, people who did not know NPD, just got into everything. Did that make any harm to any one of you? Because it all developed that knowledge. And that knowledge is never gone waste. Correct? That's what will set the tone for you to look at another department, growth in another company, growth in something else area, completely different. But if you restrict yourself, okay, my job is this, I have been asked to do this, let me just finish that and go. Correct? So then that's your choice. Nothing can be done forcefully. But what separates drivers from passengers is drivers are the engines. The engine moves and all the bogies go along with that. So it's up to you all to decide, should I be something really an engine who can set the direction, set the tone, set the pace, set everything and others will follow, or I am safe enough that somebody else take the lead and I am happy to be passenger. Okay, so that's a question mark for all of you and hundreds of people. That holds good for men and women as well. There's nothing as only women. So just open up yourself. There's nothing called, and that's the advantage of working with a company like us, where if you want to get into something, nobody's going to stop you. Correct? It's up to you to take that lead and say, well, let me also look into these things. Correct? So that's the important thing. So driver, I believe, is the one who sets the pace, and passengers are the one who just follows them. So you guys can decide. All are end girls here. All are looking forward to growth. All are looking forward to get ahead in your professional lives. So choose, open up, take up responsibilities if it is possible. Look at, don't always mix the responsibility with money. Knowledge, responsibility is different from money. Don't look at the result, look at the process. The results will automatically come.
Sure, sir. Okay. Do you all like these pictures?
Yes.
Sir, do you like these pictures?
I hope it's me to
Yes. So just share, while seeing the first picture, while cycling, what is the one thought that makes you cycle, or in between, what is the one thought you always have during cycling?
See, one is obviously two things it matters. When you are working, the balance of everything is very important. I urge all of you to give importance to fitness. That is one thing because many times when all my managers and others, when they climb steps in unit, I don't know, unit 3 people might remember I used to switch off the lifts. Unit 3 has a lift, right? I used to switch off and tell everybody climb up to the conference room and then come and sing a song immediately. So just to see how fit they are, correct? See, it is very important that both mentally and physically we are fit. Correct? The physical fitness is what determines your mental health also. When you are always down like this, when people look at you, correct, they also need to get that energy, correct? So that always helps. So some of the sports activities, and if you ask me, we also work from morning till evening, right? So you need to find your own ways. There can always be excuses, there can always be a way to figure out. Okay? So cycling for me is two things. Many people may not know, I had a very bad accident 25 years or 27 years back, where I undergone about 3-4 knee surgeries. So I cannot run. Okay, so even now I can't run. So I am very good in sports, but unfortunately I cannot run. I have undergone about 4 surgeries in my knee. So I used to be what is not shown here, I will tell you, I used to be a very avid biker. When I was in TVS, we used to drive like mad. I am not recommending anybody to drive like that. Okay, just a joke to share. I was in Tumkur factory, so I was in supply and development. Not like today, supply chain guys take a cab and then go in the cars and all those things. We were not given any cars or anything those days. It was all bike. And Tumkur Road, if you all know, then I am talking about 95, 97, 2000, used to be very notorious for accidents. Horrible road. Bangalore Tumkur Road was very worst. And I used to take the bikes. When you take a bike, you have to mention your name, department in security, and the bike is given to us. And since I was in TVS, we used to have the TVS bikes also. That time Suzuki Shogun, still remember all those bikes. And I used to drive like Mad Max. Let me tell you very clearly, not that I am recommending anybody to get into that level of driving. So one of the days, my TPM vice president was going in the car, and I didn't see his car. I obviously zoomed past him, and he noted down he can identify the company's bike, and from the bike number he can get the name who took the bike. my name was in the notice board, not to be given bike for 3 months. So, but Chalu guys, I used to take bike in the name of somebody else and still drive. So that was my craze of bike driving. And I met with a very massive accident. That is the reason I am also telling you guys not to drive in such a way. So I had to undergo. But then doctor recommended me that I should not cycle, I should not swim, I should not do all these things what you see, no, mountain climbing, everything doctor said I should not do. He said you should protect your knee, and I did everything against what doctor said. Okay, not that I am recommending all these things to you guys, that goes with individual gut feel of everybody. So for me, cycling is two things. One is my fitness, because I wanted to keep, even today if I go anywhere, even if it is 10th floor, 15th floors, I don't take lift. I always climb steps. So one is to keep fitness. Again, cycling allows you to be at yourself. And I am somebody, I like music a lot, so I will put my music. It's like a stress buster to me. Okay, I can reflect upon what happened previous week, what needs to be done, and calm. It gives you that, what you call that me too kind of space. So I love cycling for two things. One is fitness, other one to reflect upon. It gives you that space to think. Sometimes, from all the hectic things what you go through, when you pull back for 15-20 minutes, or I cycle for a couple of hours easily, more than 2 hours, 3 hours. So it just gives you time to reflect upon what you want to do, what was done, and then how you take your next steps. It also gives you that to be, and also helps in the fitness. So, yeah.
Next question, sir. While trekking, you would have reached the highest point. How was that view from the height?
Let me tell you, that was my first trek. I have never trekked in my life. And the first trek was the Everest Base Camp. Again, it goes with the belief. There's a Hindi movie called Udan. I don't know if you guys know that. Okay? So me and my wife, the OTT platform, we were watching that movie. And in that movie, Amitabh Bachchan goes to Everest Base Camp. Then we thought, Amitabh Bachchan at 75, he can go to base camp. Why can't we go to base camp? So that was the decision, me and my wife, without understanding. See, trekking in Nandi Hills versus trekking Everest Base Camp is, let me tell you, it's a different ball game altogether. Because the weather conditions are severe. Like this, it can change. It will change from -20 to anything. And we are not used to, and the climb is like this, literally. It is like you are climbing 64 kilometers is the distance, and to go 64 kilometers it takes 14 days. Because per day, if you can cross about 6 kilometers, then you have done a great job. Because such is the steepness, and it takes toll. It takes, I think when I came back from Everest Base Camp, I had lost about 10,000 calories. To be, somebody said I was fat, So thanks to Everest Base Camp, now I'm maintaining like this. So that also helps. But to cut the story short, it was like the belief that we could also do Everest Base Camp. And even to give credit to my wife, she used to keep, because we have to carry our own weight. So she used to keep 5 kilos, 7 kilos salt and rice bag at the back. And she used to climb. I stay in 22nd floor in my house. She used to climb every day. But I was not getting time to do all those things. So, and whatever you do, you cannot replicate Everest Base Camp in anywhere here. It's impossible. But she also practiced. She also came with me. I see only my picture here. But unfortunately, at a halfway, she developed breathing, and she has to be rescued by helicopter. Because she felt complete, because it's the weather conditions, oxygen levels, everything is completely different there. We are not used to, and typically staying in a place like Bangalore, you will not be used to such things, obviously. But, and I stayed with her, there's a mid place, and then we stayed for 48 hours, her health did not improve. So I had to book a helicopter. Even to get a helicopter, morning 7 o'clock we booked, and we could get at 4 o'clock in the evening. Because the weather conditions are so bad, by the time you go from here to there, the conditions can change severely. It will be like 100 kilometers wind, rain, snow rain, and then temperature dropping to -20, where you are not used to such things. In Bangalore, obviously, so I had to rescue her, and the whole question was, should I come back or should I continue because we had to bring her back to Kathmandu. It was I went to Nepal, so we had to bring her to Kathmandu, and 48 hours we said she recovered. Again there also I was ready to come back with her, but she said, "You have gone half distance, you continue." Because all these things matters, correct? So she got told, "No, please come back with me. It is too much weather conditions and all the things." But always she believed in me more than I believed in me. So she said, "No, you continue because again we don't know whether we will again make this trip or not." And because we were halfway through, I had come down to Kathmandu, so I again started after third day, and I reached one day before than everybody else. I made it to Everest Base Camp in 12 days. There is what we call as every 2000 meters you have to do acclimatization because it is a high altitude. Oxygen will be very low, so they will ask you to acclimatize there. But I had lost 2 days because of this, and I told my guide that no, I am not going to take rest. And he said, "Sir, that's not recommended because high altitude, if you fall sick, there is nothing to rescue. Only heli rescues. No other way to rescue yourself." Then I said, no, I will make it. But I could make it 2 days. I made up that 2 days to reach Everest Base Camp. I must say, all these things can only happen when you believe in yourself. So that's why this belief is very important. Not that we should have that experience. As I said, no, it was my first trek ever. I have never trekked. In my life, I have not trekked. So, but straight away we chose to go to base camp. And but it's all belief, correct? So that also helps him. And let me tell you, going to Everest Base Camp is nothing luxury. People who have seen me coming in this kind of car and staying in the house what I stay, you might have thinking it's very luxury. No, we stay in the bare minimum camps, correct? And it will be freezing -15, -20 degrees where you will be with 5 layers. No, because water will be frozen. It will be ice at -20, you can't even wash your teeth. Even Listerine what you take, that liquid you have to wrap it in wool to protect, because the only thing is to put Listerine and wash. And the food is, when you climb up, there is no fresh food because it's all hill, no power. In Everest, it all depends on the solar power. And camps are very small. Camps, you don't think it is a camp like this. Only 1 or 2 people can stay, and it will be -20. So even your blanket will be ice cold. And in the night, if you want to go to loo, you have to go -20 somewhere. And there are no toilets and all those things. So it will also make you adapt to the bare minimum. If you can stay in Everest Base Camp, you can stay anywhere. It's as simple as that. It's all about adaptability. Because we all stay in we are used to certain lifestyles, right? All of us. So Everest Base Camp is something it taught me how to adapt. You can adapt to the bare minimum to the luxury. So, every experience teaches you a lot of things. So today, while having tea, we were just discussing the challenges in the industry, Trump, war, tariffs. But you need to adapt to those situations, right? There will not be any prior experience of tariff situation in all our lives, Trump hitting Iran and wars, and we are not seeing, there is no experience I didn't have experience, I didn't learn anything. So in life, the challenges comes just like that. You are not prepared for those things. All these things teaches you how to adapt. One is the self-belief, and other one teaches you how to adapt to challenging situations. Correct? So you have self-belief, you can adapt to those things and then come out, on the winning side.
Yes, sir. Then about the last picture, if MPPL is a cricket team, what kind of captain are you under scoreboard pressure?
What kind of?
Captain, are you under scoreboard pressure?
Well, contrary to what people think that I don't have patience or I am demanding and all the things, I have played sports a lot. Sports teaches you one thing, to take win and lose in the same way. Correct? So we all know that every game cannot be won and every game cannot be lost. Correct? Probably as a captain, what I would expect from the team, even as a company captain or a sports captain, is give your best. Right? Even if it's a scoreboard pressure, win or lose, stay calm. Because I have played the game, I have played cricket, I have played for 4 clubs. So So I know not that every game can be won or every game can be lost. I was a real captain also of TVS team, just to tell you. But the only thing what I used to tell all the team members is, give your best. What you are supposed to do, have your commitment, give your best. At least even if we lose the match, we will be happy that we gave our best, but the best team won. That's okay. Correct? We don't give our best and then we allow the opposition to get away. That is not something we should be looking forward to. So as a captain, probably I would say, please give your best, stay calm, because once we lose cool there on the field, then we are not able to focus. So give your best, and then even after giving your best, if the other team wins, that means you have to accept that that team played really well. Correct? And you acknowledge that, learn from that, and be prepared for the next match.
Sure, sir. Give your best, accept yourself, and then, in terms of work, you mentioned there is no men and women, they are same. So, in work, if one makes a mistake, what is the right way one should respond to it?
Learn from the mistake. That is, first thing is first, I have seen people not accepting the mistake. They always argue that, no, what I have done is right. No, I think one has to, because we all learn on a daily basis. So open to that. You can only be open when you accept it. That, yes, I could have done it in a better way, or somebody is telling you to do it in a better way. Accept that, because acceptance is what will make you open up. Otherwise, it just closes down. There's nothing to discuss, right? If you say, no, what I've done is the best, then what will you talk there? Or what will you teach? What will you learn? There's nothing to learn, nothing to teach, right? So the first thing first is to accept that, yes, there was a mistake, correct? We are all humans, right? All of us, there's nobody perfect here. We don't live in a perfect world. The day we live in a perfect world, let us expect everything to be perfect, okay? I don't think so in next 100 generations we are going to see that we live in a perfect world. We live in a very imperfect world. That means all of us are imperfect, so let us accept that. So, and then the whole thing is first to accept that, correct? Then when you accept, obviously it opens up opportunities to learn and then better yourself every time, correct? There's nothing called we reached our best. There's nothing like that. There's nothing called best. It's always could be better. Could be better than the best, correct? So please don't think that we have reached the pinnacle of anything. So there is always a one step in front of us. Accept, learn, and then try to better it next time.
Sure, sir. And in our MPPL, in leadership roles, still women are not there. We didn't touch that height. So first hesitation, I as a woman see many women, fellow women, I see confidence missing and hesitate to speak. What is the one advice you would give to make them feel confident or break that hesitation?
I will connect to this, if you don't have a question on skydiving, I will connect skydiving to women's confidence here. This was last December when we went to New Zealand. Okay, so that is where this place called Queenstown, and that is where I had decided I decide all these crazy things well in advance. So I had decided that I am going to dive. And this is a 13,000 feet dive and it's all first time. Never we have dived. So everything is first time. So I had decided I am going to dive. I'll tell you this story also. About 4 years before COVID, we had been to Switzerland. And the same Switzerland, me and my wife, we had taken skydiving. But we went to the skydiving place. It was a 2 o'clock slot, I still remember. That was full. The slot was not there. So then the skydiving team said, sir, we can take a 4 o'clock slot. So we came down from the mountain and then we were sitting on the street side restaurant. I was seeing people diving from 14,000 feet. It's literally, circling in the sky and dropping like that. I became nervous, okay, and said, I don't think I'm going to do this. Okay, and we did not go for the 4 o'clock batch. And from that day onwards, it was in my mind that how can I get nervous of something? And it was just in my head for 4 years that, shit, I could not do this. I couldn't believe myself that I couldn't do this. Okay, and I pulled my wife down also. I said, no, I'm not going to do, you are also not going to do. That's a very bad decision, obviously. So it was there in my mind for 4 months. So 4 years, sorry. So last year when we decided to go to New Zealand, I decided the day we booked for New Zealand, I said I'm going to dive this time. Come what may, I'm going to dive. But my wife was little 50-50. She said no, 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 and we booked also. Means I booked it also. And she was not ready to dive. So the day she said I'll just accompany on that day. So morning 6:30 we went to Queenstown. I was mentally prepared that I'm going to dive, even though I was looking at people dropping down, all the things. This time I said, I'm not going to get nervous. I am going to complete my dive this time. And there are a lot of procedures. You need to sign an undertaking that if you die, this. So you have to sign the undertaking. On that spot, my wife signed. She said, I'm also going to die. It was a spot decision, saying that I'm also going to die. It was not planned, it was not decided earlier, we had not even booked it for her. But when I signed, she took the pen and said, I am also going to die with you. And I was just looking like this, are you sure? She said, and this time I had also made my point, I am not going to pull down anybody. But it is the confidence of the, when she had that much confidence she is going to die, and it will be, nonsense on part of me to discourage them. I said, okay, let both of us die. Okay? And it was first time, never dived in my life. She had also never dived in her life. And we both made it. We dived from 13,000 feet. Maybe one day I will share all the videos you must see. And what happened was, it's a microlight flight. Only 12 people can sit in that flight. So there is a seat like this, and everybody sat down, and I did not have the seat. So I was made to sit on the floor next to the door, on the flight door. So you open and then you dive. And I was the first to dive. I was the first person I should dive. And the flight takes off and you are looking like this. It goes up and up and up and up. You are crossing the rivers, you are crossing the sea, you are crossing the mountains. And obviously you might think the tension and the pressure, no? And I was the one to first dive. And they make 3 lights. So when it is yellow light, you need to wear all your parachute, this, that, and we get about 20 minutes training on the ground. How to use your parachute, you have to have that banana position. Your legs should be like this, and we all for 20 minutes they train. And then the first light comes, so you hold everything. The second light, the red light comes, that means the door gets opened. The door is not like your regular aircraft door. It is like a shutter, just opens like this and it comes like this. That means you are fully open. The door opens from here to here, not just a door like this. It just opens from here to here. And I was just looking down and it was clouds below us, not even, you have to cross the cloud to see your mountains and rivers and ice, and then the red light comes and that's it. Instant you have to jump. There is no time to even think whether you have to jump or not. And I was the first to jump. Before even I could hear my wife screaming because just out and that's it. You are in the. You should see that video where all your cheeks and everything, because when you dive it is -16. -20. So with all the things when you come down you'll be totally dry, your lips and this and that and everything. But second dive was hers. As soon as I jumped down, she was the second to dive, and we both made it to the ground safe. And that spot decision what she took, I really admire her, because at least I was prepared mentally 6 months back that I am going to dive. But she took on the spot decision to make the dive. Correct? So all these things are, and that self-belief, that's why I keep coming to those things. It is all about the self-belief, self-belief, self-belief. Nothing in life is all, previously we had experience. Now we want to do second dive, yes, Aram said we'll go and dive. We have already planned that we are going to dive again in Dubai on the palms. Okay, so then it becomes easy, correct? That's the difference between, to the first question, what is driver and what is the passenger. Correct? The driver, there is no set pattern, there is no experience, there is no thing. You have to dive. Then others will also take the plunge, looking at you, they get the confidence. But for you to make that first move, you need to have that courage, you need to have that self-belief, and you need to, take that plunge and then show the direction to everybody. So more than me, I would give this credit 100% to my wife to take this call on the spot, and we could get the booking slot, and she showed absolutely no nervousness in this. We even have an interview. She said, I'm nervous, but she was jumping and dancing, and I was more nervous in going towards the flight. But the confidence what she showed gave me probably more confidence to make the dive. But it was a very successful dive, I must say.
So next question, I'll ask two names. You have to say what immediately comes on your mind by listening to the clip. Mansi.
Crazy.
Ranjani.
People who don't know Mansi, she's my daughter.
And Ranjani.
The dawn of the house.
So
People may not know what me and my daughter calls her the dawn at home. Charita might know. So because you might think that I am the dawn at home, not at all. I am only dawn in the factory. Okay. At home, she is the super boss. So she sets the tone and we all follow that. Okay, so at home she is the dawn and we call her dawn also.
Not only was 90% of that same.
It's a different dawn. Let me tell you, when I started the company also, we were very clear in how the responsibilities would be. So her role was completely taking care of home, finances, keeping the other side balanced. Because I used to work like crazy. I used to come in the morning, go midnight. When you start the company, you know how things are, right? So it's like 24/7. But I must say, she has managed it super perfect the other side. So that is what I allowed me to focus this side. So she didn't give me any opportunity to bother both sides. So that's always the most important thing, right? So we always underestimate the role of a homemaker. No, that's the most important job. So I don't like when somebody says I'm just a homemaker. No, there's nothing called just a homemaker, because homemaker is the one who literally sets the tone for the other way to be successful. So had she not taken all those responsibilities, probably for me to focus the way I used to focus those days, and she, other thing is, I used to go at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the midnight, come home, they just leave at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, never met my daughter clearly, no, but I don't think even once she would have complained that you are not at home, you are not balancing, you are not this, you are not that, okay? So we are trying to live our lives now, but those days I don't think she has ever, I don't even remember once she had complained that what have you done at Continental, you are doing very well, but now we are like slogging, you go in the morning, come in midnight. I don't think so, ever she would have complained on those things. So that's the role, a real homemaker can make. Because that side was perfectly balanced for me, and she is super efficient in finance. Probably had I managed finance, I would have messed it up, the home finance. So she was super efficient in her finances, and she is very conservative. For people who think, being my wife, she would be very lavish. No, she is one of the most conservative person. Not only I am encouraging her to be little more open, but she is one of the most conservative person. But I think that side she has managed it beautifully well, which has allowed me to focus, and whatever today, whatever little bit we could achieve in the factory, and as an entrepreneur, I think the equal credit goes to my wife.
So quickly, it's a challenge. We have to say quickly, rapid fire. Motivation or discipline?
Discipline.
Why?
When you are disciplined only, see, motivation is momentary. I can get motivated looking at you. Correct? Somebody is, very fit. Somebody is fantastic in singing. Somebody is beautiful in dancing. Somebody has all the talent in the world. I get motivated that time. But then we don't see the discipline behind the person where they have come. So motivation, I believe, is momentary. It can stay for 1 day, 2 days, 1 week. But then to do it day in and day out, all the days, whether it is, even if we look at some very athletes and fitness, or even the singers, or dancers, or professionals, we think, oh, they are great. No, but you should see the discipline behind their practices. They would have gone every day at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, come what may, rain, snow, summer, winter, correct? So that's not motivation. Motivation is very momentary. I want all of you to understand. Whereas discipline is permanent. That's the hard to, we give up. Correct? Any time when we see some little challenge, we give up. Correct? And then wait for some motivation to happen. So that we take up again. But then we give up again. It's like, a New Year resolution. I always tease in my gym, first to 10th there will be full crowd. Because everybody makes a New Year resolution that this year I'll cut down 10 kilos. But come 14th, nobody is there in the gym. Everybody is eating pongal, sweets, this, that, and done with the things. So correct. So, but looking at somebody, you may get motivated for a week, for 10 days, for 1 month, 6 months, 1 year. But your discipline will take you throughout your life. So keep the discipline, get motivated, but continue with your discipline.
Sure, sir. Perfect plan or start now and improve?
There is no perfect plan, there is no perfection. I repeat again, we don't live in a perfect world. Correct? Everything is about start somewhere, right? Somewhere you have to start. And you are bound to fail. There is nothing like as soon as you start, everything will be super successful in anything you guys do. Correct? But it's all about accepting, learning, and keep improving. It's three things all the time. So never expect that, in quality we say first time right. Okay, so Satish may get, I'm not a big believer of first time right. Officially, this is not official Satish, this is personal. Officially, yes. So I believe that there is nothing called first time right. Yes, we all work towards that. There is no harm in aiming the perfection. But there will always be something to learn always, correct? If, for example, today we all fly in the aircrafts and other things, but the Wright brothers in 1905, if they had thought of first time right, because they take off, they fall. They take off, they fall. If they are not improved upon, thinking, okay, I did not get first time right, so I'll drop. Then there will not be aircrafts today. There will not be anything today, right? Whether it be, so many inventions have come, we are all part of such inventions. But if you believe in perfection, then there won't be any inventions. Because it is impossible to get the first flight right? It's always you'll keep failing, you'll keep failing. But the whole thing is to accept that there must be some mistake, that is the reason it did not fly. And then accept that. And if he says, no, I did everything right, I don't know what to do, then the discussion is gone. There is nothing to believe that something can be improved. So we see that every time. So it is impossible to find perfection. It is to learn, fail, learn, keep going, but never give up.
Sure, sir. And early morning cycle ride or late night karaoke?
Both.
Anyone, choose.
Can you choose between your left eye and right eye?
No, sir.
Early morning is to set the tone.
Yes.
And late night is to calm you down.
Sure, to calm us. For quickly, can you sing a 2-minute, a 2-line song for us?
I will do that, maybe not now.
Sure.
Once we have that entertainment program, let me also hear everyone, and I will today definitely entertain all of you. That's my promise.
And last question, it's a challenge for sir. So we will be giving. Quickly think there are 7 tables. Quickly let me know 7 words, only 1 word from each table. We'll give to sir, so totally it will be 9 words. So we'll give sir 1 minute to think a story based on those words and give us a 2-minute story. Okay?
Wow, I'm already sweating and making me
This is
more
the
nervous.
last question, sir. This is the last question. So quickly, whatever word, just it should be also difficult to form a story. Think in that way. So Vishali and her table mates, please let me know 1 word. Power bank. Okay.
Sorry? Power bank.
Power bank. And Harsha Vikram sir's table. Time management, duck, table, Iron Man, Lady Luck, and last but not the least, escape. We'll give 1 minute. Set the timer, please. Timer. Who's having the phone? Everybody's having the phone. Turn on the phone. 12:26. Okay. Give.
This was a very crazy decision. Correct. Because never done before. Looking at Amitabh Bachchan and say, after that I realized Amitabh Bachchan only landed there on helicopters. They did a shooting for 10 minutes and then he came back in helicopter. But we took a crazy decision that we are going to climb. But the only one belief what I had was I had my lady luck with me. So that made me think that even though I took a crazy decision, my lady luck will make sure that I reach at the top. Okay? And one thing what I realized while we used to look at a lot of YouTube videos to understand how things are there and other things. So there is no power. I told you guys, right? There is no power. So I used to have this solar-based power banks to make sure that. But the problem in the altitude is there is no sun to get. I used to put there's a on the trekking bag what you used to carry. The solar power bank will hang like this, so that when you are trekking, if there is sun, it gets charged, so that you can use in the night. Because in the camps there is no charging points, so there is nothing you can do with the charging. So to charge a phone is 3,000 rupees because there is no power and everything runs on solar. If there is no sun, there is no power. So you cannot charge anything. Even if you charge your phone fully, if you expose it to -20, -30, you would know that it will just discharge in 20 minutes. Even if you got to get a hot water you have to pay 3,000 rupees to get hot water. Because the boiling will take so much. And with all these things, and it is impossible to sleep in that kind of cold. But the guide will tell you that every day morning you have to start at 6 o'clock in the morning. So that's your time management there. And the time given from one destination to another destination is, because in the mountains, in Everest Base Camp, by 2:30 in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's pitch dark. We used to have our lights and all those things to walk. And it is, the weather changes. It is impossible to walk beyond, once you start from here, you cannot stop somewhere in the center, middle. There's nothing in the middle. So either you have to go the other destination or you have to come back. So you cannot stay in the middle. So your time keep is very, very crucial. You can have worst of the nights previous day, your leg pain, your body will be not yours. Just to tell you, by climbing a steep, if you people coming from Hosur, if you what is that temple? Okay. You multiply that by, without exaggeration, 1,000. That's the steep which you have to climb. Your knee, your legs, it will be shaking. So we used to sit just like that. But at night, if you go and sleep, there's nothing you can do. Early morning, 6 o'clock, you have to start. So the time is very, very precious because you have to reach that place by 2:33. After that, it's impossible to again walk because the weather can change very crazy. So it is that's what I said, the crazy decision with the belief of lady luck, power bank, carrying on the bag and managing all this time. There is also places where you can't walk exactly like this. So you need to duck. So you need to duck, crawl, you need to do a lot of things to be able to, because you'll get a mountain there where it is impossible to go straight, jump. You need to have all kinds of fitness levels there. So there are many places very similar to Nitya's duck which floats on the water. We also have to float literally like this to cross to reach that point. After reaching all these things, the only thing in the evenings is there used to be a fire which they put for half an hour, 1 hour. There's one table in the center. So all the climbers used to just sit there as a group to have that hot chai in the evening on that table. So the table would be the discussions every day to exchange your experiences, exchange, sorry, what is this?
So it's Iron Man.
So exchange your experiences and pat ourselves that we are the Iron Man. Not just Iron Man, I must say I have seen Iron Woman and Iron Men. One of the trip, I just want to also tell you that there was a Gujarati lady. I'm sorry, I forgot her name. I had gone up to Everest base camp. She had climbed Everest 6 times, and her job was to bring the group, take them to Everest base camp. And she used to tell one of the group when we all meet, she used to give her stories. How did she go to Everest? Let me tell you, Everest base camp is nothing when it comes to going to Everest. Okay, so even Everest base camp itself, if 100 people start from the place called Lukla, that is where you start, and it's a 14-day trek. By the time you reach, it will be only 20 people. Drop at every stage. That is only to base camp. Now, Everest, if 100 people starts, one person will go to Everest. And to climb 6 times, and she is a lady from Gujarat. Okay, so, but looking at that Iron Woman, so it was all motivation for us to become Iron Man. And so were all the Iron Men who reached up to there, and Iron Women who reached there. After going to that place, it was like 14 days of, you have given up, you have given everything to your, it's like, the only thing what I wanted was escape. Completely escape. Escape from that world and return to my world, and that is where I am. So thank you so very much. I hope I could connect points here. It's brain teaser for me also.
Yes.
So good to see that your brain is a little bit working.
Brain
Hope I
has
could
been-
connect a bit.
Yes, sir. And if this stage is like a cricket stadium or boundary, and the words you shared is all 4, 6, and it crossed the boundaries. Do you agree, people?
Yes.
He hit every ball like a 4, 6. Even out of the stadium, he has given lot of words. Your words are boundaryless. And thank you so much, sir. And thank you is not the only word I can share. Thank you so much. Yes.
Thanks for the opportunity to spend time with you all, share some experiences. These are real experiences. Nothing. You might have all gone through several experiences. This is experience from my book, okay, and still the experience continues.
Yes. Sir, do you know AVM Saravanan, the producer, Tamil producer, who always...
I'm so sorry, I'm not so well connected to Tamil industry.
Okay, sir.
But you can.
Yes. If you see, your questionnaire is over, but if I see Satish and